Hello and welcome back to Britain's Golden Era, where we explore the food of different regions and countries within the UK to better understand their culture, history and people. Today we're heading to Lancashire with 10 lovely Lancastrian dishes, but first a little about the area. Lancashire is a vast area in the northwest of the UK, bordering onto Cumbria, Yorkshire and Derbyshire. For the purpose of today's video, we'll be using a traditional map of Lancashire that includes Manchester and Liverpool, rather than recognising the idea of Greater Manchester or Merseyside. We believe in tradition here. Anyway, Lancashire is known for its major cities of Manchester and Liverpool, as well as its football teams, and of course its music scene, which brought to us the likes of Block Party, Oasis and the Smiths, as well as its industrial history with mills and factories. Without further ado, let's crack into our list. At number 10 is Berry Black Pudding. Berry Black Pudding is a food product made from pig's blood. It is famously made in the area of Bury and has protected geographical status. It is known to have a different texture and be smoother than other variants of black pudding. It is often boiled and served hot with malt vinegar and mustard. Modern berry black pudding is often considered a superfood. It is believed to have ancient origins going back to the medieval monks. It is made up of pig's blood and fat, as well as pearl barley or oatmeal, and a signature spice palette made up of white pepper, thyme and pennyroyal, amongst other things. At number 9 is butter pie. Butter pie comes from the town of Preston and is also known as Friday pie or Catholic pie. It is seen as a vegetarian equivalent of a meat and potato pie and is made up of potatoes, onion, butter and pastry. Preston was at the time of this dish's creation a highly Catholic area. The name Preston derives from Priest Town to evidence that point. As such, the eating of meat on Fridays was forbidden. As such, butter pie was born, giving workers a hearty meal to have on a Friday to went along with their religious belief. It is served as a half-time snack at Preston North End FC. It was also immortalised in the song Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey by Paul McCartney in 1971. If you want to try both black pudding and butter pie, you can get both at the world famous Bury Market. At number 8 is Scouse. Scouse is the definitive food of Liverpool and is so beloved that the locals call themselves Scousers in honour of it. The recipe itself is very traditional, usually featuring beef or lamb, though sometimes both, and root vegetables such as potatoes, onions and carrots. According to locals, the hidden trick is to cook the potatoes until they are almost falling apart. This thickens the stew into a dull rag consistency. Traditionally, it is eaten with pickled red cabbage or beetroot, as well as with a piece of buttered bread. You can also get blind scouse, which is a vegetarian version if you prefer. The history of the dish comes from Liverpool's seafaring history. The name scouse is a shortening of the older name lobscouse, which was a traditional northern European sailing dish. Due to its simplistic ingredients, it was served in working houses and quickly became a staple of the urban poor. If you want a bit of fun, you can go to Liverpool on the 28th of February each year. That has the 20th of February, for annual Scouse Day, wherein local businesses make it to raise money for charities. You could go on a Scouse crawl. At number 7 is Lancashire Hot Pot. Lancashire Hot Pot is a dish first recorded in 1859 and linked to the Industrial Revolution. It is a slow-cooked stew made with mutton, potatoes, onions, carrots, in a lamb or beef stock, sometimes with the addition of oysters, which were very cheap in the 1800s. As well as a newer inclusion of Worcestershire sauce. It became popular as it could be left on to cook for hours whilst people were at the mill. At number 6 is Morcambe Bay Potted Shrimps. Morcambe Bay Potted Shrimps are a traditional seafood dish from Morecambe. It involves small shrimps caught in the bay, as shrimpers use nobbies, specialised boats to negotiate the quicksand in the area. These shrimps are then simmered in spiced butter, with the spices often being things like cayenne pepper, cloves, nutmeg and mace, before being placed into the fridge to chill and solidify. The result is shrimp that is stored within a calcified block of butter. It is traditionally served at room temperature, so the butter just starts to melt when eating, and is always served on brown bread. Much like Craster's Kippers from our Northumberland video on the channel now if you want to check it out. These were particularly favoured by both the royal family and James Bond. The process of potting, which is storing things within calcified butter, has been around since the Tudor period. At number 5 is parched peas. Parched peas is a traditional street food from Lancashire, with pigeon peas or carlin peas being soaked for around 24 hours and then simmered. Some people like them when there is still some firmness to the peas, others prefer them fully mushy. They are served with lashings of vinegar and salt. The carlin pea dates back to the 12th century and has been a common food source in the area ever since. The name parched dates back to the old regional term to how long they are boiled for. One popular story is that during the English Civil War, a stranded ship carrying the dish saved the people of Newcastle from starvation. They were eaten a lot on Passion Sunday and Bonfire Night, which is the day where people in the UK celebrate the foiling of a Catholic plot to blow up Parliament and the then King. At number 4 is rag pudding. Rag pudding is a savoury dish from Oldham, Greater Manchester, that dates back to the 19th century. It is similar to a steak and kidney pudding, but is distinguished by its historical cooking method, which is that it is cooked in a cotton or muesli rag and steamed. Invented in Oldham, the dish utilised the abundance of cotton and rags from local mills to wrap and boil the puddings in, before getting onto the sweet treats from Lancashire. A bonus item for you. And this is the story of the drink Vimto. Vimto is very popular in North England as well as in the Middle East. Vimto was a fruit soft drink made in 1908 by John Noel Nicholas. As an alternative to alcohol, this was during the height of the temperance movement. It was originally sold as a health tonic under the name Vim Tonic, before being shortened to Vimto. It was supposed to give people vim and vigour. The recipe is a closely guarded secret to this day, so no one quite knows what's in it. It is the unofficial drink of Ramadan in the Gulf states, where it is seen as the best drink to have to break the fast in the evening due to its high sugar content. If you enjoyed this foray into the beverages of Lancashire, then do let us know and we'll be sure to include drinks in the future of our videos. And as always, if you're enjoying this video and find it fun to learn about different areas and countries in the UK via their food, then do consider hitting the subscribe button as we make new videos every week. Okay, moving on to the sweet treats of Lancashire. At number 3, we have Manchester Tart. Manchester Tart is made up of a short, sweet crust pastry shell. Jam, usually raspberry, then covers that. Custard then covers the jam. And then usually there is some diced coconut. There is some grated coconut over the top. Some people debate putting a layer of bananas in with this as well. However, this is often debated and can be seen as a variant. On top of the grated coconut is usually a single glacé cherry in the centre to give it its very distinctive appearance. The tart is a variation of Manchester pudding, a recipe first recorded in 1860 by the famous cookery writer Mrs. Beeton. The original Victorian version was more of a bread pudding made with breadcrumbs, milk and lemon, whereas the modern version evolves into a pastry-based tart. It gained legendary status as a mainstay of the school canteens up until the mid-1980s, often served with extra hot custard. Robinson Bakers in Falsworth, near Oldham, is often cited as the original commercial baker of the tart. If you were a kid during the period up to the 1980s, in the British school system, you will almost certainly have had this. At number 2 is Chorley Cakes. Chorley Cakes come from the town of Chorley. Whilst they look a little like their famous cousin the Eccles cake, they are significantly less sweet and use a different type of pastry. Locals affectionately referred to them as fly pie or dead fly pie because of the dark currant visible through the thin dough. Unlike the more commercial Eccles cake, Chorley cake was historically a frugal bake made at home, often using leftover pie crusts. It became a staple British treat in the 1800s. In East Lancashire, a giant version, up to 12 inches wide, is known as sad cake. It was traditionally sliced like a pizza and packed into the lunchboxes of cotton mill workers and coal miners. Since 1995, the town of Chorley has occasionally held a street fair in October, specifically to promote the cakes, with bakers competing to create the largest one, made with short crust pastry. Many traditional recipes add a little baking powder to the flour to make the crust more tender. It is often packed with currants, unlike Eccles cakes, where the fruit is bunched in the middle. Chorley cake fruit is flattened so it spreads evenly to the edges. Some variations include a touch of nutmeg, cinnamon, or citrus zest. There is very little sugar in the pastry itself, and none sprinkled on top, making it a savoury leaning treat. Finally, at number 1, we have treacle toffee, also known as bonfire toffee, plot toffee, or tom trot. It is a hard, brittle candy made with dark molasses. It is a seasonal staple in northern England, deeply connected to Guy Fawkes and Halloween. This treat likely originated in northern England, most likely Lancashire, around the mid-1700s, becoming a widespread favourite by the 19th century. Historically, while sugar became cheaper in the 18th century, black treacle remained a low-cost ingredient for families to make sweets at home. Because it sets as a hard rock, it was originally made in large sheets and broken into irregular shards using a toffee hammer or heavy rolling pin. Black treacle is a defining ingredient that provides a deep, slightly bitter and smoky flavour. Typically, you use dark brown sugar to enrich the colour, as well as salted butter to add creaminess and prevent the toffee from becoming overly sticky. Many recipes also include a dash of white vinegar or cream of tartar. This helps prevent the sugar from crystallising and results in a smoother glass-like texture. Golden syrup is often added alongside the molasses for a more balanced and mellow sweetness, as treacle can be quite bitter on its own. And there we have it, 10 lovely Lancastrian dishes that you can try out on your next trip to the area. Whether it's football, music or industrial history you're after, Lancashire has a lot to offer anyone We here on the channel believe that London, Edinburgh and the big cities get a lot of love when it comes to travel content. As such, we're trying to bring attention to areas and places you may not think to travel to. If you like what we do, then please hit the subscribe button and click like. It helps us out tremendously with the algorithm, as well as showing YouTube that people like our stuff so that they show it to more people. Please hit share as well and share this video with anyone you know who likes food or maybe is planning a trip to this region of the UK or the UK more broadly. Finally, if you're from the area, want to discuss food of the area, want to let us know if we missed anything out or anything else, then please do comment down below and we will get back to you. Let us discuss Lancastrian food and show the area some appreciation. Next week we'll be looking at Cheshire, the borderland between England and Wales, and learning that it's more than just cheese. Thank you for watching and eat something good today.